So welcome to the Rebirth Sessions today. Yeah, great. We'll continue with the Rebirth Sessions, and that's always, say, completely open in the sense that we don't really prepare a part or a part of a book or not anything like that. Actually, we do today, but it is very open. So the theme or idea behind these meetings this week is beholder, be a beholder, and just to come to a deepening of the whole idea. And so today we have a special guest, you could say, Jesus. So we're actually using a part of the Course in Miracles to deepen the idea of witness, of beholder, of seeing what it actually means. Now this is really beautiful. It is either you're completely, you could say, offended by it, or seeing like, oh my God, how am I supposed to do this? Or you say melt into what is actually given and recognize that that has to be the truth. And you see that it is the truth, you know, like this. So it's quite extreme in a certain sense in its expression, but very helpful to get clarity. And that's why this is shared. So as simple as that. Because clarity is great, like whether you like it or not, temporarily. Yeah, does it matter? No, not really. So this is a transformational, say, procedure that you're in the middle of, and not all things are nice or great to hear or fantastic or who knows what. No, it's actually a total confrontation with what you have accepted as a part of yourself. That has to go. Like, you need to become aware of it and let go of it. And seeing that it's completely in the way, but was so deeply confused, you could say, that you thought it was part of it, a part of your life. And you can wonder, what am I actually talking about? And so I will actually use, it is really like a deeply contemplative part that I'm going to share. So I speak the words, I made some music with it, and I also connected images to it, just to come to the expression. Now, when this video contemplation is over, we will continue with the part of, okay, so but how can you possibly do that? Now, that part, how to do this, is really, say, the transformative part, in fact, because you actually haven't done it that way, probably. Or maybe you are considering it, or who knows. But like a plain instruction that is an actual transformative procedure is really helpful and saves you incredible lot of suffering, you could say. So it's a great speed up, in other words. That sounds a bit more positive, like it's a great speed up. So I love that. Now you still don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm building some expectancy here, which is really great too. So Rebirth Sessions, this part, instruction, how to actually do this, and how to specifically not do this as you are used to. So in other words, allowing a change to occur. How do you do that? How do I need to behave? What do I need to say? Or how does this actually work? Because we say, like, I'm a beholder, like, yes, I'm a beholder. We love to say that, or for one or another reason it is attractive to repeat it. I'm a beholder. It seems like you're watching through a window and see it all happen. And this is the part that's actually totally not true. So being a witness is a very active job. It is in order to actually witness, you could say, through perception, something has to occur, and that is every kind of idea of a judgment or a limitation or an idea how things should look should already be out of the way. Now, just to mention a few. So there's a lot to discover, and in fact, releasing in order to become a beholder. And beholder has a bit of a very gentle feel to it, and that might change too a little bit, in the sense of, well, to be a beholder in your recognition of truth is great. Then there's no wavering, there's no in the middle, there's no conflict in it. So in other words, it is pure. Then there's no problem. But if you still have some, say, genetic memory, you could say, of a social response, or a human way of empathy, or a human way of respond, or thinking about, thinking that you need to behave a certain way in being loving, or being accepting, and being whatever you got accustomed to as a human being, that can and will change. Not that you become like an ice cold transformator or something. No, not at all. No, but it will be different. That's what I'm saying. So this is really, in fact, to discover what it actually means to be a beholder, and to come to the place where you can witness. Your eyes need to be open. Your consciousness need to be open to actually be able to do that. So it's a very active job, and it's also being called like a conversion, a physical conversion. In other words, all the physical response that you get by behaving in your new way, that can, say, generate physical response, in terms of seeing that your body is opening up to you, or your energy starts to flow in a whole different way. You become more sensitive. You need more time for yourself. You cannot have anyone around. It's way too much, or this kind of thing. You know, it's like that. That's all part of that, because you're actually converting this humanhood in a very physical way. So, and that comes with all kinds of activities. Also, that you really have to take care of yourself. Drink enough water. Eat lightly. Many of us will not eat meat. That can be very helpful. Or not drink coffee or tea. Just that can also be helpful. You know, you've, like, especially any kind of enhancer of the physical system, you should take it easy on those. Not that it's not allowed to eat it, or that it has an impact on your spiritual development. No, just to make it a little easier for yourself. So that's also good to know. So this physical conversion part is interesting, because in fact you might choose more often for taking a walk or a bicycle ride, or becoming physically active in some kind of way, just to feel this energy flow, and in fact to say burn up old ideas. That can be really helpful to do some physical work or some physical activity. Dancing or however you do that, but it's like burning up old ideas, because it's all cellular. Like your whole body is a cellular memory bank, you could say. It is full of memories, and with the change of the frequency, by you allowing all this new high light, bright light coming into your, say, system, into your mind, that also changes the body, of course. That's inevitable. Now this is a real rebirth in progress kind of activity or happening, and really interesting and beautiful to undergo. But you need to take care of yourself. So sufficient rest, and resting doesn't mean sleep necessarily, but taking time to allow this processing to take place. If you're like, in fact, you don't have to be tired anymore. You can just rest sufficiently that that doesn't happen anymore. And this can be really good. Like, it's more about now about the inspiration and having your mind quiet and allowing light to come into your consciousness more than anything during the day. That keeps you, say, in the place where you can be a witness. A witness of what? A witness of light and joy and happiness. And say, watching yourself, releasing memories, releasing ideas, allowing changes to occur, not being afraid to go through intensities, but just, say, stay with that and allowing that change to occur. Now, this is the first part, you could say, as an introduction to the video that I'm showing now. And it's very lovely what is actually being given. And yeah, we'll continue about it, say, after the video. Whenever you consent to suffer pain, to be deprived, unfairly treated, or in need of anything, you would accuse your brother of attack upon God's Son. You hold a picture of your crucifixion before his eyes, that he may see his sins are written in heaven in your blood and death, and go before him, closing off the gate and damning him to hell. Yet this is written in hell and not in heaven, where you are beyond attack and prove his innocence. It is not will for life, but wish for death that is the motivation for this world. Its only purpose is to prove guilt is real. No worldly thought or act or feeling has a motivation other than this one. Adornment of the body seeks to show how lovely are the witnesses for guilt. Concerns about the body demonstrate how frail and vulnerable is your life, how easily destroyed is what you love. Depression speaks of death and vanity of real concern with anything at all. The strongest witness to futility, which bolstered all the rest and helps them paint the picture in which sin is justified, is sickness in whatever form. The Holy Spirit's picture changes not the body into something it is not. It only takes away from it all signs of accusation and of blamefulness. Pictured without a purpose, it is seen as neither sick nor well, nor bad nor good. No grounds are offered that it may be judged in any way at all. It has no life, but neither is it dead. For now it's witness to nothing yet, its purpose being open and the mind made free again to choose what it is for. It stands apart from all experience of fear or love. Into this empty space from which the goal of sin has been removed is heaven free to be remembered. Here its peace can come and perfect healing take the place of death. Let it have healing as its purpose. And to your brother, let its message be. Behold me, brother, at your hand I live. So that was one way to express it. So it went pretty fast. So you have to watch it a couple of times, I guess, or dive into the text. And so the main thing that's being shared is that it's like the whole purpose of this world is to prove guilt to your brother. Now that's something that you won't accept right away, because you think there's a different thing going on too. You think some parts are good and some parts are not good. And so this is not about discussing that or anything. This is about realizing that that's the nature of the dream. Like the nature of the dream, you could say, we looked at that, say, on Monday too. The basis of the dream is, in fact, it starts already with an idea of separation. And that step in your consciousness was, whether you are conscious of it or not, was a step in which you did something that you, say, turned the love of God into the fear of God. In other words, you actually felt afraid of God. And if you would have admitted that and just stayed with that, it would be resolved right away. But see, here we are, living in a three-dimensional world with an, at least that's what you can be if you're still, say, making this dream real, you could say, and then that is still echoing in every step that you take. This guilt will always be with you in this three-dimensional experience of yourself. Like that will always repeat until you realize it, that something else is going on, that you can have totally different experiences. In fact, that you admit to you being afraid of God for a moment and seeing that, in fact, diving into this fear, there's nothing to be afraid of, and healing can easily take place. So that shifts the whole purpose of this dream into a dream of, say, a happy dream. Up to that point that that shift has occurred, you will still, say, project and experience guilt. As simple as that. So taking that with us in our vision of ourselves, in our recognition, like, where do I find myself? I remember being deeply guilty for everything, in fact, feeling that guilt so incredibly deep, and seeing that for every step that I took, I in fact only make it worse. Like every step that I still make within this limited frame of reference is a perpetuation of this feeling of guilt. Like I simply can't get rid of it. The only way to get rid of it for me would be to wake up out of it and seeing that none of it is real. But how can I, say, admit to that if I still make things real? That's impossible. So this is then the next part, in fact, where we come into, which is very practical, basic, transformational information, you could say. Very basic, but very profound, and very much in full activity in your mind when you, up to the moment that you decided you want something else. Like you take that with you in your awakening continuously until you're awake. So it is like you have heard something, you've discovered something, now you can't do as if you didn't hear that. You can try, but it will come back to you. You will feel this impossibility, and you will feel this that something is absolutely not working until you have the experience of, in fact, the release of the fear of God. In fact, giving yourself the possibility to experience a deep peace that is your, say, heritage. Now, that was described too in the same part. So this came from the chapter 27 of the Urtext of A Course in Miracles. But say in the last paragraph of this part of this section, there's a possibility, like for instruction, is what I promised you. So I'm going to share that with you too. So how can you do that? It's like, how can you achieve this? How can you achieve this? The simple way to let this be achieved is merely this. And this is then very much related to the body. To let the body have no purpose from the past. When you were sure you knew its purpose was to foster guilt. For this insists your crippled picture is a lasting sign of what it represents. This leaves no space in which a different view, another purpose, can be given it. You do not know its purpose. Like you do not know how this works. So the simple way to let this be achieved is merely this, to let the body have no purpose from the past. That's sufficient. And in the past you were sure, you knew that its purpose was to foster guilt, whether you were aware of that or not. For this insists your crippled picture is an everlasting sign of what it represents. This leaves no space in which a different view, another purpose, can be given. You do not know its purpose. That would be the key, in fact, to become a beholder. Now that sounds complicated when I share it like this. It sounds complicated when I share it like this because it is like, how am I supposed to do that? It was just one line of instruction. Now what am I going to do? Like I can't grasp it that quickly. I don't know exactly what this is about. Like, okay, so everything that you used the body for before, like in the past, let it go. You don't have to repeat that or perpetuate that. It's like, let that go. Now allow this to be completely new. Like, let the function of your body be written on it. In other words, open yourself up to discover how this can be used. Not by you, but by spirit. Like, how does that work? You will find out. It will be shown exactly. And so many places in the course it says like the body is in its proper function, you could say, only used for communication. It's a communication device. So when you fulfill that purpose, when you actually apply that and actually make that your practice of yourself, you could say, then the body's fine. Like then nothing can happen to it. It is when you make demands on it because of a perpetuation of a habit or a way of doing, that the problem will start with your body, because it's literally not made for it, but you are conditioned to use it in a certain way. Now, how do you use it then, you ask? How else do I use it? Well, this is exactly what this is. It's like, let it be shown. This is exactly the principle of the beholder. It's like, let it be shown. You don't know its purpose. You don't know its function. You don't know where it is for. So let it be used for you. Listen. You will see in the moment where it's used for. And it's not like magical, or it is not like difficult or complex or anything. No. It will be used in such a way that it supports, in fact, the healing of all. So you will be, say, taking away your goals with it, or your motives with it. And then it can be open and can be received and can be given to you. See, if you already know what to do with it, or keep doing the same thing, in fact, or say falling into a repetition with it, then you're not open to hear or to see anything. Now here's a real rebirth moment, you could say. This is a real transformational step in your new approach to see the body as you've never seen it before, to ask for what it's for, how this works, what am I supposed to do, where am I supposed to go, how and when, and how all this works. So you will need instruction in order to receive this. But that's where in fact the proper use of it is. And when I say proper use, I mean actually is like the most natural way of being present in this three-dimensional experience of yourself, seeing that the three-dimensionality of it doesn't matter, but the purpose that is related to it and how it's being used will reveal to you your connectedness with your brother, and not, say, increase the guilt on him. So you can say this is an invitation to an holy relationship. And holy relationship means a relationship of communication. That's why the last sentence is like, okay, behold me, my brother. Take my hand, like hold my hand. We do this together. There's an equality and a unity. That is our holy relationship, recognizing that we share the same source. Just that. In that we can communicate. You know, this is the real beholder, you could say, the witness. The witness, it's an absolute incredible adventure. It is a witness that shows that this world is not a prison. This world is not limiting you in any way. No, by your recognition of the holiness of you and your brother, in recognizing your purpose, that can be completely changed from an earthly idea in the same spot, in the same scene, you could say, being lifted out of it, completely transcending the three-dimensionality of it. So that's the practice, and that's that was the introduction, you could say, to be a beholder. And that's just totally lovely. So to me it was really beautiful to read this with you and to actually share it, because like I said, it is actually very confrontational. You've been using everyone in your dream since you weren't aware of what you were doing. You have used everyone, in fact, to perpetuate guilt or to project guilt on it, no matter what the activity was. Even though you wanted to be a good person or a good this or good that. No, the nature of this place isn't what it's supposed to be. Like the basis of the dream isn't right. So whatever you're going to do in it is still a place of limitation. And you have looked for places where there was a bit of relief, a bit of comfort, a bit of safety, but that always ended, that always broke, that always, say, converted into pain and guilt and sorrow and all this. So that is so great. So there's absolute light in this message. You could say it has a healing capacity without any kind of limit, and that's the offering here. So yeah, so great. So thank you for say receiving this with me. It is really something else. So I'm really happy with that. I'm looking at one more thing that I love to share, and that would be a moment of silence, in fact. So maybe I'm playing a song or just being in silence with you, just to feel this deeply. All right. So thank you for this part of the meeting. We're heading over to the non-public part of it, which is the sharing of what you feel like sharing today. That can be that you did the assignment or found something else that inspires you, which is all welcome, because this all works by inspiration. Like that's. It is not set in stone what to do. It is, no, this comes by inspiration. There's no other way of letting this come to you. That's where the joy is, in fact. That's where your openness is being demonstrated. And that's why it's so lovely to discover that.